Hey, welcome back to the War Journal. Today is episode 3. And in this episode, I want to give you a little context to where I was at, and then I'm going to start actually reading the journal entries from the book. It was right before Christmas. I had received the care package from Christy. We were in a staging area in Saudi Arabia, and we were getting ready to move to Camp 5 or Camp 15, I forget which one. Those were these large bases that were used to house soldiers, equipment. They had large storage depots, PX, and we were getting ready to go there so we could prepare for the combat operations. So I'm going to start now with the first journal entry. Ironic, it was on December 25th, 1990, Christmas Day. Well, today we are getting ready for our big move. Tomorrow, we move to our tent city north of our little home. Christmas Day was spent finding burlap bags for camouflage. Bates, Kuntz, and myself looked in every dumpster for our precious items. After that, just training at night as usual. Just didn't seem to be Christmas around here, even with the Merry Christmas banners in the chow hall, which disappeared the next day. It was really funny. I had deployed many times in my career during Christmas, and this was another time that I was away from home, and it really didn't have a Christmas feel at all. And even though they tried to make it feel like Christmas, I think knowing that we were getting ready to go to combat, it just didn't have the same vibe. Anyway, S2 brief was last night, trying to inform us of even more things to watch for, such as oil tanks with poisonous gas coming from them, and the ever-constant threat of chemical weapons, and unequal odds, which makes for a no-win situation. This doesn't include our two Moonies, as we call them, which are baffled and bewildered by even the simplest task, how to read a map. These were our FNGs, new guys who were assigned to the platoon and the company, and they really didn't understand reconnaissance operations. They were just out of infantry training school and ARS, and it was a telling tale, watching these new guys come in and having no experience in trying to conduct operations. This also doesn't include the lieutenant's constant playing of favorites. In the order teams will go out, and Beaver's ever-constant I don't know attitude, which all leads to my recent smoking. Besides these things, all is well in Southwest Asia. I think a lot of military service members can identify with the drinking Red Bulls and Monsters and chewing tobacco and smoking cigarettes, nicotine, tobacco, trying to always it was just a way of surviving. And in Desert Storm it was not different. I started smoking, I was chewing Copenhagen, but we didn't have Monsters or Red Bulls back then. So that was the journal entry for Christmas. What I want to do now is kind of talk about, the context of the war, because I think that many people don't understand. This was 1990 and things were totally different. There's no cell phones, there's no internet. I'm still writing letters home and receiving care packages, but the war was different. And let me explain. For most people, including myself, the Gulf War, Operation Desert Storm, is a forgotten war. It occurred over 30 years ago and has been overshadowed by the more recent wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. Most people forget at the time, Iraq had the 5th largest army in the world, with approximately 950,000 soldiers, 5,500 tanks, 10,000 armored vehicles, and nearly 4,000 artillery pieces. The Iraq army also had Scud missiles, anti-tank and anti-personnel mines, and chemical weapons that it used in its war in Iran and against the Kurds. The U.S. had not fought in the desert since World War II, which caused significant concerns for everyone involved. In addition, Marines had not been in major combat since Vietnam and the bombing of the Marine barracks in Beirut on October 23, 1983, which left a bad taste in everyone's mouth. We were highly motivated. However, we were untrained, ill-equipped, and didn't know what to expect. So we had to prepare for the worst. The threat of chemical weapons was our greatest fear. We had a pact within our team. If we were hit with chemical or biological weapons, even though we were forced to take anthrax pills, wear mop gear all the times, and carry atropine injectors and gas masks everywhere we went, we would shoot each other. We would rather die from a bullet than experience a horrific pain and suffering from a nerve agent. And for me, I think my biggest fear was getting hit by a nerve agent or chemical or biological agent. The fear of dying in the manner in which you die when that happens, it was something that I never wanted to experience. So within our team, we did make a pact, and we said that if we were hit by biological or chemical weapons, that we would shoot each other. And I would rather die, by a bullet than the torture of a nerve agent or a biological agent. I think as the war progressed, the idea of biological and chemical weapons subsided. But the one thing I can remember is that I remember the corpsman handing out anthrax pills, and as a corporal in the Marine Corps, I would always question things. That was who I was, and I would say, well, why are we taking these? What do they do? And after a couple of days, a lot of us just decided we're not going to take them. We didn't know anything about it. And this really goes, if you look at what happened with COVID, it was very similar for me. I didn't take the COVID shot until I was forced to, because I was going through a divorce and I didn't want the perception of being an irresponsible parent being brought up in the court case. So I actually went and got the shot. But what I'd like to do is show you the evasion, escape, and evasion charts. We were issued these charts, and if we were caught or compromised, we would use these charts to get out of the country or get to a safe area. How effective or useful were they? I don't know, but I did keep many of them, and enjoy having these and a bunch of other souvenirs around. So I want to kind of wrap up today's episode by just setting the tone of what it was like in Desert Storm in 1990. Going to war for the first time, not being in war for decades since Vietnam. Everybody's highly motivated. We want to win. But there's so many uncertainties, so many questions. We hadn't operated in the desert. We're going to use Humvees, mobile reconnaissance. What are the operations like? The terrain, and just brought up so many concerns and so many questions. And I think that theme was prevalent throughout the entire deployment. The not knowing, the not understanding, the not having information, and I think that really compounds the stress and anxiety and fear. And I will say that in every combat deployment that I've had in Desert Storm, in Afghanistan, deployments to Iraq, that fear and uncertainty is an underlying theme in all of them. And I really don't know how to address that, but when I read further journal entries, you'll see how that theme keeps reoccurring. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the War Journal, and I look forward to sharing other journal entries tomorrow. I want to stop by, there's a picture of Saddam Hussein in a Santa hat, and that was one of the pictures in the chow hall. So I hope you enjoyed it, and look forward to the next time we're together. And please do me a favor and share this with friends, family. It really is important to me, and I think it's a great message to everyone out there to learn from my experiences in Desert Storm. Once again, thanks again, and have a great day.